Hello guys, and welcome to this next video of Angular 2 series for absolute beginners. In our last video we created our first custom component, and in this video we are going to see how to use that component for various tasks. So guys, using a component we can do lot many tasks. We can bind our data from component to the screens. We can pass the data from the screens to the component. We can interact to various UI level events that are created by users. So there are a lot many things that can be done inside a component, and in this particular video we are just focusing on how do we bind the data from our component to our screens. So guys, to start with, I would like to show you this user component that I created. In the meanwhile, it contains these four files which are generated by default with any component. So I have dragged these files here, and this is all the file contains for now. So if you see, basically there's nothing much, just a paragraph tag, just an input tag, and just a click button, a few CSS that I added to make my screen responsive so that the screen layout remains intact even on varying device sizes. So that's pretty much we have for now. Now we are going to see how do we bind the data. Basically guys, any class property that you have in your class can be bound to the HTML using interpolation. Interpolation is nothing but a set of curly braces that we put on templates like this. Basically these guys are called interpolation. So you just put a set of two curly braces, and inside them you write any property from your class component class. So I have done this user value. This user value is a property on my class which contains this hello angular value, and so I should be seeing this hello angular value on screen right ahead. If I make any change to this value, the corresponding change should automatically get reflected, right? So this is how data binding works in Angular. Not only just the primitive, we can even bind the complex object type. Suppose I have this text object here which contains a name property, which again contains a value property, which contains the hello world property. So if I need to bind this hello world property on my screen, all I need to do is I need to bind this value as text, which is my class property, then name, which is a property inside that, and again the value property that I need to bind. So you see my property gets binded. It got changed from hello angular word to hello world. So in this way we can bind even the complex uh, object types to the screen. So basically guys, what happens if there is no value inside your objects. Let's say the object was a blank one, text was a blank object here, and I bound this text.name.value. So if we see on the screen there is no data binding, which is pretty obvious because there are no strings inside the object. But guys, if you see, you get a pretty nasty error from Angular in this case, which says that cannot read property value of undefined. What this basically means is Angular is not getting this value. Angular is not getting this value field on this name property because name is undefined. There is no name property inside the text object, which is pretty much correct. So how do we avoid such errors? Because there can be cases where you want or where you expect some data to arrive inside an object from the backend or from in duration of your course. You expected the data to arrive, but it did not arrive. For some reasons it was undefined or it was null. So in that case guys, what you can do is you can put a pretty question mark in front of such values, and now this error should no more will. Okay, sorry for that. So now this error should not come anymore. So now you see the values are null. There is no value, so there is no binding, but at the same time there is no error as well. So guys, this is what we call a safe operator, a question mark. You can put it anywhere at any label, even if you have multiple properties ahead of this, so you can put them each change to each object ahead. So this works down the label as well. So this is how we bind the primitive object and look for a safe operator to avoid undefined errors. Another thing guys that you must know is these curly braces are not only for binding the values from the component, but also what they can do is they can run a kind of simple JavaScript. They are basically running in JavaScript context. So if you provide some value here, let's say 1 plus 1, if I try putting that, so what it should give me is 2 on the screen. So if I do something like uh, 10 cross 2, that should give me 20 on the screen. So basically this interpolation, apart from binding the strings or binding the values from the component, can also be used for evaluating some kind of data on the screen. Let's say if you have two values from your component, one is val, the other one is val1, let's say. So you can do this kind of operation on this interpolation, and they will put the correct evaluated data onto your screens, right? uh, but guys, you can't just go ahead and write any JavaScript inside that these interpolations. They are basically used for simple JavaScript expressions. You can't just write any code. You can't just start writing if loops, for loops inside them. Yeah, but basically you can also write ternary operators if you want. So something like this should work. Um, let's try in this. So this should pretty much work because these are ternary operators and they are supported in interpolations. So basically what I am doing here is I am asking this interpolator to check if 2 is equal to 2, give me yes, or otherwise give me no. So it's giving me yes. In case I remove it to 2, sorry guys. If I, let's say 2 is equal to 21, give me yes, as give me no. So now it should be giving me no, which is correct. So guys, this is what interpolation is used for. We saw how the data can be bound from the component to the screens. Not only primitives, but we can bind object values as well. And also we saw how we can use these expressions for a simple level of JavaScript evaluation. Okay guys, so that was all from this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys.